Morning, everyone. Virgo here. It is March 13th, 2019. Hope everybody's having a great start to your week. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of fun this morning. And one of the things that has been occurring on my channel over the last few days is a lot of these really snarky comments that we've been getting from the different movements that really didn't appreciate my video from yesterday. And that's fine. I would prefer to have the conversation on the channel as long as it remains respectful, and as long as people are not throwing out racial slurs or bigoted information, or bigoted personal feelings, rather. I would much rather have that on the channel. I think it's important for conversation to take place, for opposing opinions to be there for others to read and make their choices on. That's something that I am all for. But there's been a great amount of information and opinions put out there because of the video that I did on Monday morning with regards to taxes, the fact check that I did on the 16th Amendment. A lot of people do not like the fact that the 16th Amendment provides Congress with the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes or from whatever source derived, as the 16th Amendment claims, and absolutely gives Congress the right to do through the Treasury and via the Treasury through the IRS. It sucks. Taxes are not something that is fun for any of us to pay, but it is a necessary evil for things that take care of the rest of society that maybe isn't as capable at the time as us to pay out taxes. And then, of course, there's things like Social Security tax, which you pay on for your retirement. So these things are important, and whether or not everybody views them as important is really not the point. The point is that what has been put together by our government, largely due to our voting, has to do with collecting taxes for very specific things. And those things are things that have been deemed important by the majority, and as a result of that, this is what we have. Now, it's not a perfect system, but it is a system that's allowing everybody to function, and that is equally as important. So one of the things I'm going to do this morning, though, is address a couple of the comments that we had that I think are important. And then I'm going to take you to another law in which I did not go into on Monday. The reason I didn't is because for those of you that are absolute tax protesters, you're going to come up with just about anything that you can to try to fight your way out of this. It's a natural instinct to do when you absolutely believe that you are accurate. And in reality, no matter what you argue, the IRS will win. So it really doesn't, you're not those people that I'm really after to try and make others understand. The ones that I am really after are the people that are watching YouTube videos and that are being coerced into doing things like purchasing $60 books, for example, that are out there, trying to tell them that if they purchase this book, then this person's going to tell them every single thing that they need to know about skirting the law when it comes to the IRS. And I'm trying to stop those people from spending those funds because there is nothing out there that is something that's going to allow you to skirt paying taxes. And I found a particular comment that I'm going to take you to right now, very important with regards to that. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, this comment was left on Monday by Jason Allen, and I am not real sure that the person who left this comment is not the party who sells the book themselves, because later, after I responded to this comment, I actually got a message from Dave Champion himself, which was very similar to this with one exception. He just about called me every name in the book. He did not like my response, and I will show you guys why. Jason leaves this comment. Dave Champion's income tax shattering the myths, never refuted by government even though they have multiple copies. I'm not even going to go into the rest of the comment, because the reality of this is never refuted by government, even though they have multiple copies, is a bunch of bullshit. All right, so what I did was start doing some research on Dave Champion and actually start looking into this book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take you over to Dave Champion's website, and we're going to take a look at that first. Here we are over at Dave Champion's website, and you can see that he's standing there in front of a bookcase, and he is reading a book. Now, Dave also has a YouTube channel, and it's called Dr. or Mr. Reality. I can't remember which, but I believe it's Mr. Reality, Dave Champion. Reality. Yes, he needs to wake up and smell reality. First of all, I want to draw your attention to this. Anybody notice anything interesting about this logo? Yeah. Okay, that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. Let's take a look at this book. Income Tax Shattering the Myths. $60 per copy. $60. $60 per copy. Yeah. Let's look at what you'll get for that $60, shall we? It seems to me that the United States Department of Justice has already slapped Dave's hand once. So this is the federal court. This says the federal court bars Nevada man from promoting tax fraud scheme. California court says promoters' theories about taxing authority are wrong. The federal court has permanently barred David Champion from promoting a tax fraud scheme designed to assist his customers evade federal taxes, the Justice Department announced today. The civil injunction order was signed by Judge Perry Anderson of the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. You are welcome to look up press release number 12-133. This is real. It isn't fake. They've already warned him once, and here he is out there doing it again. So let's look at this one more time. Jason Allen says, Dave Champion's income tax shattering the myths, never refuted by government. All right, we've got lie number one. I would say the Justice Department counts as government, and they're refuting it pretty wholeheartedly. Doing some more research with regards to Dave Champion after he left me that wonderful comment, cursing me out and telling me how retarded and stupid I am, former Nye Sheriff Office candidate Champion arrested. Now, I wouldn't have ordinarily put this in here except for this. This appears to be extremely fresh. January 11th, 2019 at 7 a.m. as a matter of fact. And I found the charges to be really interesting. A former Nye County Sheriff's Office candidate is out on bail following his arrest on Saturday, January 5th. As stated in a Sheriff's Office declaration of arrest document, the resident Dave Champion was charged with involuntary servitude and coercion. For those of you that have never heard of the charge, involuntary servitude, that is a charge of slavery. Yes, you heard it right, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Champion has been charged with slavery. I'm going to leave this in the description for you guys to take a look at and read for yourselves. I'm not going to read this entire article. It will take entirely too long. And quite frankly, I just don't have the time to spend on this jackass. But you are absolutely welcome to read it for yourself. It will be in the description along with his website that you can take a look at, and along with the information from the Justice Department in which you can take a look at. And if you look at the bottom over here at the Justice Department's press release, you can find the press release number so that you can look it up and verify it. This was actually written originally in 2012. It was again updated in 2014. You can actually look at the case online if you go to Pacer and look it up. It may be on Court Listener also. And also, just so that you're aware, Dave Champion is currently active with making videos on a daily basis on YouTube. You can go to Dave Champion's channel, Mr. Reality. I will go ahead and link that for you in the description. You will laugh at some of the videos that are up there. They are so in line with the sovereign citizen movement in a lot of the things that he is claiming. It is absolutely ridiculous. And once again, as I said, look at this logo. When you go to his channel, you'll see that he's actually sitting in front of the Anarchy logo. It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why people don't notice these things. This is clearly a case of, once again, an agenda. He's selling this book at $60 a whack. When was the last time you guys bought an ebook, or any book for that matter, for $60? I could tell you from the comment that he left me, he's an absolute narcissist to the extreme. What couldn't have been more insulting? I mean, under normal circumstances, when you spam somebody's channel with a link to try to sell something that you have, you don't go out of your way to insult them or to try to gaslight them in some way. And that's exactly what this jackass did. He is absolutely ridiculous. And in my book, when it comes to anything of value to pass on to people, not only is he a con artist, but his information is 100% irrelevant. Moving on, because I think you guys will agree with me that there is absolutely no reason to discuss Dave Champion anymore. We will take a look at the secondary piece of information with regards to the proof that there is a law on the books that absolutely 100% says you must pay income tax. And this is probably the law that is the most conclusive when it comes to pointing the finger at you. If you are within the United States, no matter what kind of anything you file to claim that you're a diplomat or a Moorish person or somebody that, you know, is some sort of dignitary or whatever you want to call it, it does not make a difference. If you are on this land, you are in the United States, and you are subject to the laws, the statutes, and the codes. Yes, those two, because by definition, statutes and codes are laws. You can look it up. The first thing it says is legislative law. And so you are required to abide by even this law, which is income tax. You are required to pay income tax, even if you're not a citizen. Even if you're not a citizen. So, it does not matter if you come from another country. It does not matter if you claim to be a Moorish American. It does not matter. You are still required to pay income tax if you live, reside, walk around in, or work within the United States. 26 U.S. Code 6012, persons required to make returns of income. General rule, and I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I will link it so you guys can read it. Returns with respect to income taxes under subtitle A shall be made by the following. A, every individual having for the taxable year gross income which equals or exceeds the exemption amount, except that a return shall not be required of an individual. Meaning anybody who makes over $12,000 in the year is required to make a return of income, to file your taxes. You absolutely 100% cannot get out of it. If you choose to get out of it, they may take a few years and then send you a bill, or, as I heard in my comment section and thought it was actually a really cute little spin on that, it may come, your bill may come in the form of an indictment. Just depends on how much you owe and how much you're attempting to evade. For the final comment on this, let me repeat this one last time. Statutes and codes are, by their very definition, laws. 26 U.S. Code 6012 says that persons are required to make returns of income, and that is everybody within the United States that either resides here, works here, or walks around on the land, meaning even if you're not required to file a return, you're still required to pay taxes. You go to the store, you buy a bottle of water, there's tax on it. If you are not a citizen, but you have been in the United States and you've lived here for 9 months out of the year, you're still required to pay taxes on your amount that you have earned within that 9 months. You don't get out of it just because you're not a citizen, in other words. All right, everyone. So this is my final statement with regards to this currently. Any other information that I find, I will make a part 3 on this fact check, but I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that the 16th Amendment is not the only law on the books. I've heard from other people over and over again. There have been comments from tax protesters that claim that there are no other laws on the books other than the 16th Amendment. That is not true. This is a law that is very specific, points the finger directly at you, especially if you live in the United States full time. Your tax protester arguments are frivolous and irrelevant, and they need to stop. I know they won't, but hopefully this video will get to somebody who might be confused about it and stop them from making one of the biggest mistakes of their lives, because believe me, the IRS is somebody you do not want to tangle with. They do have the power to seriously screw up your existence. And even though they're not nearly as bad from a customer service standpoint as they used to be, they still will absolutely 100% push forward if they feel that you are evading the responsibility of paying taxes. It sucks. Nobody likes it. I don't like it, but it is absolutely the way that it is, and the law stands behind it. They win every time. All right, you guys, I hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.